Well, as the People's Democratic Party, PDP, continues to battle the crisis it originated and sustained by itself, Nigerians wait the bated breath for the outcome. In a display of confidence for a lasting resolution, the Deputy National Chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Umar Illiya Damagum, says he is confident that the aggrieved 5 PDP governors led by Nyesom Wike of Rivers State will work for the victory of the party's presidential candidate, Atiku Abubakar, and others in their various states. At a media parley in Yola, Adamawa State, the Deputy National Chairman said the internal wranglings will not affect its desire to rescue Nigeria from the claws of the All Progressives Congress APC in 2023. Well, let's hear from the man himself.
I want to tell you, the party, they have always said that they are going to work for the party, they are PDP. Recently, they have said it, that they are doing everything possible to make sure that the party succeeds in every aspect of their state. So we have no cause for alarm. It is an in-house thing and we are going to come over it.
Well, call it whatever you want to call it, confidence, reassurance, or perhaps an irony on the part of who are watching what is happening with the PDP, but the national vice chairman of the party, deputy national chairman, saying, hey, everybody would rally back, but time is running out on the PDP with just 73 days to the elections. Babajide, is Damagum shying away from the reality of what's happening with the PDP at this point in time?
No, you know, politicians are naturally very optimistic people. You see a politician who cannot win an election conducted at his own dining table in his house. Once he steps into the race, they start calling him Excellency. If he is contesting for House of Reps or state legislative seat, they start calling him Honorable. You know, if he's contesting for president, even if he belongs to a backstreet political party, they start calling him Mr. President. And he will be happy to soak in all of those
accolades.
Yes, you know. So the politician will not agree that he will lose an election. He will spend so much money believing that he will win. So I think that people like Damagum believe that this matter can still be resolved. It's good to be optimistic, but the signs of resolution of the crisis are not there. The two main contending groups have dug in. They are not making concessions. IU is not prepared to leave. Atiku is not prepared to sanction an IU resignation. They are not. It's not even going. It's not going through their heads at this time. They are not thinking about that. And the Wike group believes that as long as IU is there, that there's nothing to talk about. There's no peace talk will be accommodated as long as IU remains the chairman. And to make matters worse, a person that Wike believes betrayed him by stepping down for Atiku.
That's Governor Tambuwal.
Yes, was made the DG of the campaign. And remember, Wike described that as picking enemies of River State and putting them in the campaign council. So they pulled out of the campaign council. By pulling out of the campaign council, they sent a clear signal that we don't want to work with you, we don't want to work for you. And you had the governor of your state say, we will not work for Atiku. He was not even waiting for the possibility of a resolution before saying that. So as long as the two groups dig in, it will be foolhardy for anyone to think that a resolution will come. Maybe the Atiku's group believe that without Wike,
they could get something.
yes, that they can win the election. So
Okay, well GKB, let me bring you up on this. It's often said that a house divided against itself cannot stand.
Yeah.
But in politics, 24 hours is such a long time. A lot of things can change.
It's a lifetime.
I mean, so 73 days to the election. How well is the PDP doing to close the gap amongst its rank, this crack in its ranks that is beginning to look like it's going to affect the party's chances at the polls? How well is the PDP doing with 73 days left to the polls?
I think the main PDP have made up their mind to go to battle with or without the Wike group. Their body language is signaling that they are not willing to make any concession whatsoever. And it's too late in the day for the Wike group, after all the weeks of drama they've given us, to simply buckle under. I understand the fact that some governors have re-election under the party, and some are going to the Senate. And I'm still waiting as an analyst to see how they are going to navigate that treasury place that they are going, because the senatorial campaign, senatorial election is on the same day as the presidential election. So people are caught on who's going to the Senate, and they too have to find a way around it. How not to work for Atiku, but work for the party. People like Seyi Makinde, of course, have a different set of problems, because he has 2 weeks to galvanize his troops for the gubernatorial and state. So I think that's what is happening. Both camps have made up their mind. The Atiku camp have decided they're going ahead, forging ahead, with or without Wike. And the Wike group think that they hold the ace in deciding who the next president of Nigeria will be.
When we look at the 5 governors of the PDP who have taken a stance against the direction the party has headed in the recent months, talking about Governor Wike, Governor Makinde, Governor Autumn of Benue, we saw some clips of what transpired in Makurdi earlier today. What will pacify these governors? And perhaps is the presidential candidate of the PDP even showing signs is ready to make some concessions to bring these 5 governors back into the fold? Are there any indication that there may be any concession in the coming days?
No, I don't see it. I don't see it. I think that they are carrying on with their preparations. They think that they can still do well in the election without Wike supporting them. They see Wike as just an individual. But unfortunately for them, the coming of Peter Obi into the race will cause real problems for Atiku, whether he admits it or not. The facts stand out like a midget in a room full of giants. So there's no doubt that he has to work a lot harder with Obi, because Obi's hunting ground remains the main hunting ground of the PDP over the years. Atiku, in previous elections, especially where Buhari contested, lost in northern Nigeria. So he's always...
We have a call coming in from Uche from Nnewi. Uche, good evening to you. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, this is Uche calling from Nnewi. Good evening, Babajide.
Okay, Uche, we're struggling to hear you. You may need to speak up a bit more so we could hear you clearly.
I think Wike is taking this too far. I think Wike has a personal problem. These people, the earlier they understand that Wike has his own personal vendetta, the better for them. I think the Wike, once a child is beaten, that child is, should cry. Right. But when you cry, you know when to stop crying. I think.
All right, thank you very much. Uche was calling us from Nnewi in Anambra State, saying, the PDP leadership should understand that for Wike to continue harping on these demands, it's very important and it should not be taken lightly. But gentlemen, before we move on to our next subject, let's just look at the chances of the PDP from this perspective, from what we have seen of them so far. Do you think the PDP still stands a strong chance of, in its word, rescuing Nigeria from the ruling All Progressives Congress at the polls?
Well, those are sound bites that are normal with opposition parties. But their chances in the south, especially areas where they used to be very strong, is very slim. But that would be a disadvantage going forward. But also it could be an advantage because you now force them to look for new wanting grounds. Because normally PDP will have taken votes from a particular part of the country for granted, that they are not going anywhere, that they have no choice whether they took their slots and give it to another, it doesn't matter. They know they will come back to the table and follow the party. But that's not the case anymore. So this will now force PDP to look elsewhere. Because like Gide said, the OB factor is going to seriously dilute any mass votes that they're expecting from certain parts of the country. And we all know that. I'm sure the PDP itself, in their quiet times, will go through that and know what is happening. But that may now force them to now look for votes somewhere else. If the election were to hold tomorrow, I would say no. But you and I know that 24 hours is a lifetime.
In politics.
Because as we are saying today, the PDP integrity group, the G5, has spread all over the south. That means they are holding the jugular to vote in 3 zones. Incidentally, the vice president candidate of PDP is also from the south-south. So that will neutralize anything, any advantage they think they have. But the danger here is the fact that if the Wike group does not make a statement in that election, that's their end politically.
Well, of course, there you have the G5 governors who have been in the spotlight, led by Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike, who's been the mouthpiece of the demands for the 5 governors. Well, let's see how this pans out. We'll look at it. But VKO, just quickly, this is good for politics. It's good for democracy in Nigeria, you would say.
Yeah, it's good. And one of the clear signs that I see that the Wike group is not willing to make peace is the fact that they criticize their own party at the slightest opportunity. For example, when the PDP, when the presidential campaign criticized the Muslim ticket of APC, Wike fired back to say that what you have done in the PDP is worse than a Muslim ticket. That having a zone, a region that has that produced president for 8 years, you know,
still want to
you still want to contest from that same region. As far as it's concerned, that is even worse than Muslim ticket. So they latch upon every opportunity to show that their party can be trusted, that their party leaders are hypocritical, and they also latch upon every opportunity to show that even the national chairman of the party is corrupt and cannot be trusted at all. So if you want your party to win, to form government at the center, I don't think you go to to that length
to
demarket your own party.
It's more like a case of if I can't have it, then nobody else will have it.
No, Wike is not contesting for any position. But
right he was an aspirant under the party.
Yes, he is no longer. He is not seeking an election, but it is Ayu that he wants to deal with. And as long as Ayu is still the national chairman, that matter cannot be resolved.